Hello everyone, my name is Artur Ganszyniec and I was the lead story designer for the first Witcher game, this guy here, and my idea for the summer is to play the first Witcher game for the first time in almost 20 years and add some developers comment to it or designers comment from my own perspective. I hope you will enjoy it. And now let's play. I haven't seen the game for a very long time and I'm curious how much I do remember. The game was developed by CD Projekt Red and was published late in 2007. It was powered by the Aurora engine, quite an antiquated engine even at that time.
His name was Geralt of Rivia. He was a witcher, a professional monster slayer. An unusual contract to lift the curse that held a monarch's daughter. It was enough to spend the night with the princess, dusk till dawn. If only she were not a deadly beast, a striga. The traitor responsible for the curse became the bait.
This intro cinematic was done outside of CD Projekt. It was done by Platecz Image, and it is based on the first short story by Andrzej Sapkowski, a short story called The Witcher, which was an introduction to the character. So we used it also as an introduction for the character. But the funny story is that when the game was originally conceived, Geralt of Rivia was not the main character. For the first few years of the production, you were supposed to play another Witcher, not Geralt. But that was before I joined CD Projekt. I joined CD Projekt at the beginning of 2006, and so I had the occasion to take part in the most intensive, the most intensive part of the production, where the final game took shape. So I was responsible at the end for putting together the new version of the story. Because when I came in, there were old scripts, not really useful at the moment, and we had to craft the story basically from scratch. Yeah. So this intro, it was, state of the art in 2007. Now, well, not so much. The monster we are fighting here, this striga, we will have a chance to meet her also in the game. And the intro introduces like all tools of the trade of Geralt, silver sword, elixirs, the Witcher signs, Witcher magic, and the silver chain. But as you can imagine, as making such a chain to look natural in a game is a hard thing. The chain didn't appear in any of the first 3 Witchers, and I think that, judging from the trailers, that Ciri in The Witcher 4, that she will be yielding this silver chain. So let's see how it plays out. And I would like to comment on the text in the intro, like He was a witcher, a professional monster slayer. It was added later, when the cinematic was complete, because we realized that for people who know nothing about the books, and at the time that would be our whole audience, because the books weren't probably even published in the English yet. So for our audience, they would have no idea who witchers are. So we added this cheesy introduction just to provide some basic info for the player, for the viewer. And when the intro was done, we didn't really know what the final story in the game will be. So that's why this is sort of a prequel or a standalone story, just introducing the character and the fact that he is a mutated monster slayer. The animatic uses character models prepared for the game. I always like this part of the short story, when the Witcher hides in the tomb, so the Striga couldn't get into before the dawn. He's checking if she transformed back.
Though gravely wounded, the Witcher lifted the curse and gained fame. The world changed with the coming of the Great War, the time of the sword and axe, the time of disdain. Geralt of Rivia disappeared, all but forgotten. But that's another story.
And here we also had to add some text to tie the intro to the game, just saying, but he's gone. So yeah, let's play The Witcher, a role-playing game as it was advertised at that time. We'll start a new game. We'll play the main story, and we'll play on easy, so I wouldn't get distracted and you get all the anecdotes that I hope I still remember. Yeah. And we'll play with the mouse because that would be easier for me. And also, I will talk about it later, the over-the-shoulder camera was added as an afterthought very late in the production, because originally the game was supposed to be played with a mouse. I love the concept art here.
The northern kingdoms nursed their wounds for 5 years after the Great War. Plague and famine raged, the death toll unknown. A few surviving elven and dwarven units sought refuge amidst forests, where they prepared for a final, desperate fight. Abominable beasts ruled backwoods, highways, and former battlefields alike. In cities and villages, folk were left wondering, what had happened to the Witchers. The Blue Mountains in the north of Kedwen. The year 1270, 5 years after the Great War.
We wrote this short introduction just like, you know, the movies in the 80s, like, I don't know, Blade Runner, The Alien, Terminator, they started with this short flavor text introducing the setting. And that's what we did here. There was a war, elves and dwarves are fighting, there are monsters, a lot of monsters, and the witchers are all but disappear. We added a specific time and place to show that this is a living world with its history, its geography, like sketching a wider image.
Where am I?
Everything's all right. I've no idea where you've been. The important thing is you're alive and among friends. Though you look like you just left your grave.
So now we're introducing that the strange-looking guys in leather are his friends. And take a look at this location. This is the surrounding of Kaer Morhen. And it doesn't appear in the game.
I remember nothing.
And you might wonder...
We'll speak soon enough. We're nearing Kaer Morhen.
Isn't it wasteful to prepare a whole location for just a cutscene? Well, the location was prepared beforehand for the older version of the script, and for various reasons it didn't fit in the final story, so we had to cut it out, and we used it just for the cutscene. It is a shame. We thought a lot if there is a possibility to use the whole location, but it was out of question. But at least we have this beautiful cutscene. And now we'll be introducing the danger looming over our characters.
We're home. Leo, get Triss.
Your time nears its end, witches. Enjoy things while you can.
He says that, so we knew he's not supposed to be there and that he's a bad guy, because in the early tests it turned out that it was not so obvious for some players. A bit cheesy, but effective.
I keep repeating this. Pirouette always followed by a back cross parry. Always.
Barely 2 days have passed since they found you.
Mm-hmm. I owe my recovery to you. Thank you, Triss.
Remember anything?
Not much. Look below. I know the moves. Pirouette, parry, cut. I can't explain it, but I feel a bond when we speak. I know you were important.
Geralt, we...
Something's not right.
I need to think.
Geralt and
Time flows
Triss,
slowly at Kaer Morhen.
they had a history in the books. That is, they knew each other, and Triss was,
Take a rest. What do you think, Geralt?
let's say, infatuated with Geralt, but they were not an item. And now, when Geralt doesn't remember anything, it opens some possibilities.
The Professor promised 50 orens for every freak we kill.
He's mine!
Vesemir, we got company.
I'm shutting the gate. Geralt, grab a sword off the training forms.
Okay, so let's play. Of course, we'll start with all the tutorial stuff, like grabbing an item, movement, and combat. The combat in The Witcher, in the first Witcher, is sort of a rhythmic game. You have to click at the right moment to make chains of better and better attacks.
How do you feel?
Fine.
Anyone know who the intruders are?
Ordinary bandits would never attack Kaer Morhen.
That we know, Marigold. You could try some of your famous magic.
In due time, Lambert.
Enough! We need to check the other possible passages to the upper courtyard.
Okay. Let's switch the camera for a moment and look around. Look around the... I like this location, and I'm very glad that we get the chance to revisit it in the Witcher 3, where it looked even more stunning. And there is one more thing we need to discuss at this moment, and this is where is Triss Marigold? Yeah, this is Triss Marigold and her cleavage, but maybe we'll talk about it later, because now we have to introduce that Witchers are able to use design art to clear rubble. Yeah, the location is not very friendly for this kind of movement, this kind of isometric camera, and that's for many locations in the game. Some of them were made very early, when the team knew almost nothing about how the game would be played, so they are more, aesthetics and vibe based than based on any particular level design or prepared for any particular movement style, because they didn't exist yet, like the design that didn't exist yet and the story didn't exist yet when some of the locations were created or existed and were outdated.
What's happening?
They're trying to break down the gate!
They won't get anywhere without a battering ram.
Yeah, but they have a
Shit! What is that?
monster.
One mean beast.
Savola. I know him. A mage as ambitious as he is insane.
This model was produced later, almost at the end of the production, so it's more detailed and sports a different aesthetics than the earlier models.
Get ready.
There's more! They're entering the upper courtyard!
The one in glasses is the professor. Murder for hire. I sense magic. There's a sorcerer among them.
Professor, you know the way. Get to it.
Yeah.
The professor is wanted in Redania, Temeria, and Kedwen. A real maggot. I don't recognize the sorcerer.
Marigold, I'm interested in whether you can disarm Savola. The rest is Witcher's work.
I'll try.
They're coming.
The Frightener is very dangerous, but it's vulnerable to loud noises.
The bell's in the upper courtyard.
Exactly.
Hints for the boss fight.
You'll help me stop the Frightener and the bandits. Leo, stay behind us. Geralt, you open the gate to the upper courtyard. When we're there, Triss can stop Savola and his pet while we prepare to deal with the Professor and the unknown mage.
I'll figure something out.
Let's do this. Bleed them a bit down here before withdrawing. Geralt, follow the wall and break through to the tower where there's a passage to the upper courtyard.
Alone?
They're just bandits, though one might be infamous. You must open the gate. We'll be waiting. Good luck, Wolf.
Okay, so one thing we have to talk about is Triss's cleavage, because in the books it was stated very explicitly that she had been wounded in a magical fight, and she got some scars from magical fire, and she said she would never wear a cleavage again, a low-cut dress again, because these were magical wounds, impossible to heal. And yet here she has this very almost obscene dress, and it looks like that way because I think someone decided that we are making a game for a certain demographics, like teenage boys probably, and that was 2007, and we wanted to show that we have a game for a mature audience, you know, for adults, and that meant boobs and sex. And there were a lot of discussions about this inside the team, and eventually Triss got a new model with an elegant evening dress with no cleavage at all, and that's in my head that's the canonical Triss, and that was a big issue because at this technology all the clothing is part of the model. They are not modules that you can swap like in the Witcher 2 or Witcher 3. Here, if you wanted a character to be dressed differently, you had to make a brand new model. And we were very, very tight on time when the production of new characters was concerned. So it was out of the question to change too much. So Triss looked that way because we, wanted to make a major game in 2007. Okay. So now let's talk about the fighting system. I laugh how when they die and switch to ragdolls, like their heads and their hands and legs just get longer. So the fighting system looks like it looks like a rhythmic game, mostly because Mike Kiciński, who was the creative director for the game, said that he wanted to have a casual game that you can play with one hand, drinking beer with the other. So we had to make something that got a tactical feeling or that demanded anything from the player, and we decided to do this sort of you have to find your rhythm to get better attacks. And when you get used to it, it's pretty pleasant. I like it. Yeah, and we have those grisly finishers, because also a game for a major audience in 2007, you needed a lot of blood and a lot of violence. Yeah, the times were simpler and maybe not so much better than they are now. And to add some layers of strategy or tactics, there is more than one fighting style, and you have to match the style to the opponent. So some opponents demand a fast style, and some opponents demand a strong style. No, I haven't killed him. That's a nuisance. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Geralt will be jumping, and this is a big of an issue because on the Aurora engine the characters cannot jump. It's impossible to do at the engine. So every time Geralt had to jump, we had to make a cutscene. And in the best case scenario, we managed to concoct some exciting events around the jump, like here. But the main idea is that Geralt had to
No way
jump.
through here. Follow me, back to Savola.
And witches don't jump without a cutscene. As you can see, we have very few models, because as I said, preparing a new model, even a new texture version, was a lot of work for this engine, and we didn't have that much time. And as you can see, some of the characters, like the guy with the bow, are more detailed, and some are more basic, more like nondescript, like this diaper guy. And the more nondescript characters were made later, when we realized that we will be reusing them over and over. So the more character they get, the more unique they were, the more it was obvious it was that they are being reused and reused and reused. So the older some of the older models are like more detailed than newer ones, which is interesting. Big monsters.
Damn it, Geralt. It's a miracle you're alive.
You could have told me about the stairs.
Lambert and Eskel were supposed to fix them yesterday.
We're not masons.
No matter. The professor and the other mage must be hiding in the keep.
Face the truth, Witchers. They're here to rob you.
Triss, child, we have nothing of value. Some good steel snow fox pelts?
I mean the laboratory, and you know it. Someone wants your famed mutagens.
You're jumping to conclusions.
Triss may be right. We need to find out what they want.
One thing at a time. We shouldn't turn our backs on a strong mage leading a frightener.
And you can't let the bandits in the lab.
Right as usual, Triss. Geralt, you've dealt with mages. Find out what this one wants. Leo will guide you.
Just reconnaissance, or...?
No one will be sorry if some of them lose their heads. You'll manage, Wolf. Just remember Leo's with you.
I can handle this.
No, you can't.
Inside and be back.
No, you can't.
Take these potions just in case. Drink the Thunderbolt now and keep Swallow for when you need healing. I'll be able to tell you how they work. We'll make sure no one else gets inside. Triss, stay with us in case Savola has any new ideas.
Okay, so now we have potion tutorial. So let's drink the potion. We have some remains. The prologue was remade from scratch 5 times. We made the prologue. We're pretty okay how it turned out. Then we made the first chapter. We learned a lot. We noticed that the prologue was shit, so we remade it, and then we worked on chapter 2. We learned new stuff. We saw some flaws in the prologue, we remade it, and that happened 5 times. The last time was when we were working on the actual tutorial and we realized how many mechanics we have to introduce to the player, how many characters we have to introduce to the player, and we also changed the story a bit. Maybe not changed, but we really realized that some characters have to be introduced differently, so we had to remade the prologue again, and then we added some new mechanics and we had to fit them in the prologue, and then we realized it was a game about choices, so we had to add a choice to the prologue. With every iteration the prologue got better, and I'm pretty okay with how it turned out, but still 5 times that was a lot. And Leo, he's not a Witcher yet. He looks like a Witcher, but he's not a mutant. He hadn't undergone the mutation, and the character, you can see he looks more natural because he was based on one of the artists. The character is based on the photographs of one of the artists.
Ready, Geralt?
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of our team members.
Never killed a man.
Stay close.
Okay. And now we're inside.
I've heard all of Dandelion's ballads about you. Lambert tells me I'll never be as fast as a real Witcher. But I managed to hit him during training today.
You beat Lambert?
Yeah, we were fencing on the floor pegs when that strange storm came. Lambert looked away, I did a pirouette, hit him right in the gut. He didn't fall, and then he beat me.
You'll make a good swordsman yet.
I know. Every time Lambert beats me, he says I have potential.
Okay. So, as you said, this location was not really meant to be, viewed from this isometric view, because it got nice ceilings and stuff. But yeah. And it's really hard to navigate here. It's not a very intuitively designed level, because when it was done, it was just, and the objective was for it to look natural and to look good.
Mess with me and die.
But there was no level design per se, not really. And we got these fresks that are almost invisible from the default camera. We added the over-the-shoulder camera because we played Gears of War, and we are in awe of their over-the-shoulder camera, and some programmers just put together a quick prototype to prove that it can be done on the engine, and we were like, wow, this looks really great. So we decided to go for it and do it. But it has its consequences. Like, most of the textures were made to be enjoyed from a larger distance, so with the over-the-shoulder camera they are pretty pixelated, but that's a trade-off.
Tough is what tough does.
Yeah, we have this nice group style when we attack more than one opponent at the same time.
You're dead.
Okay, and now we'll be visiting a part of the level that is so counterintuitive that we had to add a cutscene so the player knew where to go. Because we won't be going up the stairs.
These stairs lead to the lab.
Follow me.
This cutscene or this dialogue was there only so the players
The energy you annexed from the circle
don't get
elements
lost.
is enough to stop the witches?
You trembled, yet you complained Savola would have them all, leaving none for you. Did the sight of a single witcher, White Wolf himself, instill fear?
The aforementioned, considered dead I might add, is a known killer. I'll gladly challenge him.
Leo, stand back. Come on, Professor.
Time is essential. I wield the power of the Circle of Elements. They are no threat. Back to work. I want the mutagens ready for teleportation in 15 minutes. Our witches shan't trouble us.
We're cut off. The stairs are blocked.
The magic barrier looks solid. We need Triss.
They're robbing us. Geralt, clear the passage upstairs. Use a sign.
A sign?
The Ard. I can't do it since I broke my fingers training along the gauntlet. Cast the Ard at the debris.
I don't remember the signs.
Let's go to the Circle of Elements, a source of the power. You need to try and learn the Ard.
All right.
So yeah, we are this legendary character who remembers nothing, so the player can go through all the tutorials. But before we learn the art, let's talk about the professor. He's based on a character in the books. There was a bandit in the books who was called Professor because he wore glasses and posed as an educated man. But he was killed in the books. He's dead. He's dead. He's been dead for 5 years now. But as I said, the first version of the script and the first idea for the game was that the game took place at the same time as the books, that it was a sidequel, not a sequel. So the professor, the model, was prepared for the later version of the script, and we couldn't really change the model because there was no time. We wanted to use it, but the professor was dead. So in the Polish version, this bandit is called Magister. It's like Master of Arts, of Master of Science, so also an academic title, but lower grade. And we thought, well, maybe this universe is ready for more than one academia-coded villain. But we thought that nobody read the books in English, so in English he's called Professor. So he's a different guy than the guy in the books, but he looks the same because the model was made based on the character from the books. And now let's go and learn some magic. I'm always getting lost in the underground here.
Success?
We'll see in a minute.
I knew it would work.
Let's get back before Lambert kills the Frightener himself.
Okay, so now we'll have to go back and clear the rubble, which was introduced earlier in the game, that witches can use art to clear rubble, and we use rubble a lot here in the prologue to restrict players' movement, so the players don't wander away when they had some tutorialing to do. Okay, and it's done.
What did you learn?
The bandits are in the lab, searching for something. The mage used the Circle of Elements to create a magic barrier.
Did you notice that
Plague. You're all children. Why didn't you mention the circle?
Triss, child, it didn't seem important.
If the mage aligned with the circle, he can create a stable portal through which he'll travel to anywhere on the continent, taking your equipment with him.
All right, we made a mistake, but you said the mage was harmless.
I said I didn't know him. I think we should protect the lab above all.
Don't panic, Marigold. We know you'd like to see our witch's secrets.
Vesemir, if that idiot doesn't shut it, I'll...
Enough! Lambert, stop baiting Triss. Show her some respect.
Lambert is a
Triss, if we
troll.
go to the lab, they'll have us surrounded. We know tactics.
Maybe we should split up.
Geralt's right. We need to protect the lab and kill the Frightener. Who goes where?
Only I can break the barrier. I'm going inside.
Vesemir?
I'll stay and handle the Frightener and Savola. What about you, Geralt? We may both need your help.
Okay, so first of all, did you notice that we teleported the player from the underground, from the laboratory here, because there was just so much backtracking on the location that it became unbearable, and we had to speed things up a little. And the second part, this part was added in, I think, 4th or 5th iteration of the prologue, because by then we knew that that was a game about choices and their consequences. So we needed to show it to the player in the prologue, and we needed to add a choice. So now we can choose if we're going with Triss to the lab or if we fight the Frightener with Vesemir. Originally it was only just one boss fight with the Frightener, and we had to add another boss fight to make both choices equally attractive for the players, and we will go with Triss.
The lab is important. I'm going with Triss.
Me too.
It's decided then. Eskel and Lambert will stay with me.
Savola just cast a spell. Something's happening.
The ground is shaking. Feel it?
They're breaking through.
Watch out!
That's what I call an entrance. The guy has style.
Quickly, defend the laboratory. This could be a hard fight, Geralt. Take this potion. Witchers call it the Tawny Owl. It restores endurance. Very useful when fighting mages.
Thanks. Let's go.
Okay, so let's drink the potion. And let's go.
You'll go no further, White One. I'll summon a powerful demon that will tear you apart.
A bluff. He's exhausted from teleportation. Magic light is about all he can muster.
Go. We'll deal with him and join you at the barrier.
Underestimating an opponent. Now the energy of my people will make me stronger.
Okay, so let's start with killing the people who are making him stronger. It's not my favorite boss fight, to be honest. So let's take time and talk about a bit more about, okay, I'm burning, so maybe I'll drink swallow. And he's teleporting. Just great. So the production of The Witcher was pretty turbulent, and when I joined the company early 2006, The Witcher was in production for a few turbulent years, and there was at least one hard reset of the project, because originally we were supposed to play another Witcher that we created, and the events took place during the Witcher saga. So Geralt was an NPC we were supposed to meet at some point. But then one day Mike Kiciński as I heard, because that was before my time, Mike Kicinski came to the company and said that he had a dream that we should play Geralt himself. And that was a great idea, because it really made the game. But that was a horror for the production.
Are you hurt? Did he get you?
Nah. But if those were magic lights, I'd hate to face a truly powerful sorcerer.
I wanted to help, but I couldn't break through that strange circle.
Savola's eating dirt. That's what matters.
We need to help Triss.
Let's go.
So, because the idea, through all the scripts and all the concepts through the window, because now the story had to be about Geralt, and Geralt was dead at the end of the books. So they had to find a way how to, you know, revive him.
In the laboratory. The other mage is... I underestimated him. Hurry.
So, you know, all in all... Oh, this is probably the only animation we have for sick people, so everyone who's sick in Witcher First is sick like this way. So, so we went with the whole amnesia thing, and the whole backstory of how Geralt came back was resolved in The Witcher 3. At this moment, we were not really sure why and how he came back. We had some ideas, but it was not necessary for the story, so so we didn't elaborate on them. We didn't make some final decisions how he came back. This happened in The Witcher 3, or between 2 and 3. Yeah, and the Zerrikanian mage, this unknown mage from Zerrikania, he's one of the, he's the...
I found it. We have what we came for.
Bad main villain here. And in the earlier versions of the prologue, he was not present there at all. Only the professor was there, because the mage was, acting from behind the scenes. But when the player doesn't know that someone is acting from behind the scenes, the player doesn't know that there is a hidden villain. So after several iterations, we understood that he had to be here. So he knew him, so we've seen him, and so we would be able to recognize him when we meet him again. And yes, young protege is almost as an dangerous job as being a cop 2 days before the retirement. It never ends well.
Leo, stop!
This was supposed to be like the personal connection to the story. Like,
fairy tale.
They not only stole our secrets, but they killed our friends. And I'm not really sure if there was enough time to get used to Leo. We did all we could.
Punctured lung. He's dying.
He needs White Rafford's decoction.
But he's dead.
Hang on, Leo. It was here. I can't find it.
Vesemir. Leo is dead.
It's one of those practical and usually effective ways of making the character care.
I was late.
It's not your fault, Geralt. We're all to blame. Triss barely made it fighting for us. These are bad times for Witchers, and something tells me they'll only get worse.
Is it safe up top?
Relatively. Some stragglers up there, but we'll deal with them later. You look tired. I'd like you to rest. I'll keep watch and tend to Leo's body.
Okay, and we experimented with some systems in the game because it was supposed to be an RPG, and we're really afraid that we have only just one character. You cannot create your own character. The character has just one fighting style, and you can decide whether you want to play the ranger, a warrior, a mage, stuff like this. So we were afraid that people will be criticizing the game that it's not RPG enough. So we added lots of, extra mini games and subsystems to show that the game is deep, and one of the systems is the meditation. So sometimes you meditate and then you can, for example, upgrade your character. You cannot do this just on the fly. So we'll probably add some strength, dexterity, and maybe intelligence. And inventory journal. What do we have here? Some quests. Okay, I must explore the fortress. Okay, so let's meditate. And now let's loot some stuff. Not many objects here are interactive, so it's not a click fest.
Moss and grasses. The smell is heady.
The fabled secret Witcher laboratory.
Eskel came by while you were resting. Triss is still unconscious, but stable.
That's a relief.
I've made a decision, Wolf. We abandon Kaer Morhen. There's nothing holding us here.
I see.
We need to bid Leo farewell and wait for Triss to recover.
And the bandits?
Yes, we need to finish things. But first we must make a healing potion for Triss. We'll need to search for ingredients. Nothing useful left here.
I can do that. How do I make the potion?
Lambert will give you the formula. Look for him by the fireplace. He's with our brave sorceress.
Lambert? He doesn't hate Triss?
Feels guilty, I think. The first thing Triss will hear when she wakes is, "Finally awake, Marigold." That's Lambert. Let's get to work. Later I'll teach you how to extract ingredients from monsters. I'll be in the main hall.
Fine.
So he promised us to learn us how to extract ingredients from monsters. I'm putting a stress on it because it was supposed to be sort of a mini system or stuff like this, and it got dropped in the production. But we'll get to this later. Do you see how it's very inconvenient, like, to go through this narrow, winding passage with this point and click camera? Okay, so you see Lambert is here. He's not by the fireplace because the dialogue was written for the earlier version of the prologue, and when he was by the fireplace there was too much backtracking because we'll have to go through this door. So we moved him here and added a trigger so the player wouldn't miss him.
Geralt, is something wrong?
No time to talk. I need to make a potion for Triss.
You should find a vial of white gull in the armory on the upper floor. Grab some calcium equum from the evening hall. Look for white stones in one of the chests. If you find any stragglers, finish them. We don't need prisoners. The stairs are through that door. I'd go, but Marigold lies unconscious by the fire.
Okay, so let's skip the tutorial questions.
Lambert, I have to tell you something.
What is it?
Leo. The bandits killed him.
He wasn't ready. What a loss. We'll hunt them down, Wolf. We'll avenge Leo.
Okay.
I'll find you later.
And he opens the doors for us. The door for us, so we knew that we have to go this way. Oh, a chicken. Well, I live here. I'm allowed to take stuff.
dare challenge the Salamandra?
And now take a look at this. The stairs are broken here, and they are broken because on the Aurora engine you can only have one layer of walk mesh. So if you can walk somewhere, there is no possibility that you can walk over this place somewhere else. And because here is a passage, the stairs, it's impossible that they were walkable on this engine, so we had to break them. And there is a lot of such clever tricks here to because it's a nice vertical location, but you are never allowed to walk over a place that you were that's walkable. So that's why all those tricky design decisions.
I'll make you squeal.
Okay, so let's kill them and then we'll take some more.
Mess with me and die.
Oh, I'm wasting my time. I could be just killing them with art. Okay, so as you can see, we see a level, like there's a hole in the floor, and the artists are playing on the verticality of the location. But to be honest, I think that this is a trick, because as I said, no walk mesh over a walk mesh, so the upper floor is a separate part of the location, and we were teleported when we went through the door. So this lower floor is fake. The real lower floor is somewhere else, because it was walkable, and yeah, no walk mesh over the walk mesh on the Aurora engine. Okay. One of the problems we had is that this is a huge location, and there's not much to do, to be honest. And so there's a tension in the prologue. We are trying to speed the player up so they don't get bored. But there's just a huge location to explore. Yeah, and this book is it's from Andrzej Sapkowski's books. It's a pamphlet, a piece of anti-Witcher propaganda, and Andrzej Sapkowski is expanding on that part of lore in his latest book, The Crossroads of Ravens, or The Raven Crossroads, and it's like it's a prequel, a story about when Geralt was a young Witcher. And here we have some extra weapons, because this is a role-playing game, an RPG, and the players were expecting to have different weapons. So we can have a dagger and an axe, but because it is a game about Geralt, and Geralt is a Witcher, and Witchers are using only silver and iron swords, so those extra weapons are extremely ineffective. So it was like, I'm not sure if it was a good design decision, because on one hand we are giving the players some extra weapons because RPGs should have more than one weapon, but on the other hand they are useless compared to the swords. And here is a book about the monster, because the system that's here is that I have to learn about a monster, read a book about a particular type of monster to be able to extract alchemical ingredients from the monster. So I can fight a monster any time I want, but without the bestiary entry, without reading the book, I won't be able to loot the body. Okay. So, do I have everything I need? I'm not really sure. Ingredients. Yeah, okay, so I have everything I need. And now let's go back. I think there's a newer version of this asset in Witcher 3, so a piece of nostalgia. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to... Okay, no. Let's explore a bit. I suppose there will be nothing useful here, but... So, as I said, a large location, not much to do. You could see the fade in, fade out, that was the teleportation between those two parts of the location. Okay. So we're going back to... Okay, let's switch the camera. We're going back to talk with our Witcher friend. Yeah. It's a nice location. But brown Witchers, you know, against the background of grayish brown stones, and the Triss is here. If not the interface elements, I wouldn't even be able to spot her there.
What do you need? Done. I have the ingredients, and it's safe upstairs.
Good. You'll need 2 more things to make the potion. The claw of a mighty beast and some celandine. Vesemir will tell you where to find them. Let me teach you the formula.
So I have a new formula. The alchemy system is pretty nice because you mix alchemical elements and where's my inventory? And some items have different alchemical elements, so you can have to pick and mix. I like it. It's not very complicated, but pretty fun.
Oh, that was a tough fight.
I found a few intruders upstairs, but...
I understand they won't be a problem. Lambert, however, let the Frightener get to him. Nothing serious. Good you went after Triss and handled that mage.
She was able to salvage some equipment, but it looks like the main device has vanished.
Our beautiful sorceress was right, I know. You did well, Wolf. Take this armor and sword. I've been keeping them for you.
Lambert gave me the formula.
I take it you already have white gull and calcium equum.
I do. What next?
You'll need celandine. Take what I have. Plus the claw of a monster like the Frightener. To skin a creature, take a sharp knife and cut along the torso. You'll find the Frightener's carcass in the upper courtyard. Once you've extracted the claw, rest by the fire while making the potion.
Have you noticed this part about take your knife and cut along the torso? At some point, there was the idea so that we will have those like bloody visceral cutscenes every time Geralt skins a beast. So we'll see how he cuts through the body, blood splatters and stuff like this. And all in all, when we looked at the budget and thought about all pros and cons, the skinning of a beast looks like this. Ta-da! So, but some dialogues have already been written, and it was no time to change them. This is a part of the Frightener boss fight, and here we can get a glimpse of the rest of the location. We have had to cut it off because we are not using it in the prologue, and there's a reason for that. A story about Geralt, or the essence of the story, is how he interacts with other people, what choices he makes, and you need a lot of people to do that. You need a society. It's about a stranger in a society doing choices. A stranger comes to town story. Sort of like a Western movie. So, if we use the location here, it would add at least an hour of a gameplay, but it wouldn't be like the gameplay of the game we were making, because there are no people here. This is just an empty wilderness with animals, maybe some bandits. So if we wanted to tell a true story of, like, true to the core of the IP, to the core how Geralt's stories work, we would have to add a lot of people there. And this is a secluded place, so people have no use of being here. So we decided just to drop it, and the location, I think it was used in one of the official additional stories in one of the DLC, but it got cut out from the game. And part of the location was like this Witcher training grounds, and there was a lot of problems with it, because when the location was made, it was made on how it was described in the book. So there are a lot of places when, or at least 2 places when the player had to jump over something, and as we know, it would require extra cutscenes. So another reason not to have this in game. But I'm really happy. I was really happy when I was playing The Witcher 3 that I got to revisit the location and see all the surroundings of Kaer Morhen. That was great. Okay, so let's go back with the skinned beast and let's learn how to make potions. Have to talk to someone. Or just go to the fireplace. Oh no, Geralt, where are you going? Oh, the pathfinding in the game is just brilliant. Okay, so let's do it here. Let's go to the Alchemy panel. Potion for Triss. It auto-selected the ingredients, and let's mix the potion and see what the quest log says. It says that I should find Vesemir, meditate and prepare the potion. Well, I did that, so maybe I need to talk to Vesemir. Because I as the designer, I already knew how to prepare a potion.
I have all the ingredients.
Good. Now rest and prepare the potion according to the formula.
What if I get the ingredients wrong?
You'll have to find more.
Where?
I'll have another claw and more celandine. Eskel has alcohol, and I saw calcium equum somewhere upstairs. But try to get it right the first time. It's not that hard.
Yeah, we had to make a plan B if the player got that wrong.
Where are Lambert and Eskel?
Upstairs. Lambert's in the library, and Eskel's taking Triss to a room.
Are there other Witchers?
There were 3 Witcher schools in all, but it's been long since I've heard word of the other 2. You've met all the Witchers I know of, except for Berengar.
Berengar.
Did I know him?
I don't believe so. An introvert, he chose his own path. Actually, none here can say they know Berengar. He often ran away from Kaer Morhen, though he would always return in the end. After the trial of the grasses, he finally accepted his destiny and started training for real.
Okay, so it's a bit of inside joke, because in the first version of the script, the first concept of the game, the Witcher you were creating and you were playing as was called Berengar. So this Berengar here is the protagonist of the game that never existed. That was just a design.
Some always run.
Perhaps. And perhaps something detains him.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Who was Leo?
One of hundreds of orphans of the war with Nilfgaard. I apprenticed him 6 years ago.
I'm sorry.
We'll recover our secrets and find Leo's murderers, even if they fled to the end of the world.
So the part of the tool we used to make the world seem bigger and to show like all the nuances of the setting was name dropping. So we could say that he was an orphan, but we said he was an orphan, one of many after the war with Nilfgaard. And now we know that in this world there was a huge war, that there is a country called Nilfgaard, that there are lots of orphans. It paints the wider picture, and we don't have to show it all. We just let the player's imagination fill in the details.
We'll speak later.
Okay. We'll speak later, because now we have to go and find Triss. And you know, the room we are going to will be probably known to you from Witcher 3, because it's the room where the third game starts. But then there's another sorceress in this room, and it's Yennefer, like Geralt's true love in the books. But right now Yennefer is out of the picture, and we're not talking about her. And the room is where Triss stays, and now she is the potential love interest of our brave Witcher, who in the books slept around a lot and had a predilection for sorceress, for female magic users. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly the same room. And before we talk to Triss, I will have to make like a disclaimer. There will be a sex scene, because we were making a game for major audience in 2007, so there had to be sex. And we realized that like cutscenes showing sex were not really an option, because we had a very tight budget for cutscenes, and they looked extra creepy and awkward. So when I say we, I say the collective we. So there's the idea of this like sex cards. So Geralt will be sleeping with different women and collecting like cards, like collecting them like Pokemon or stuff like this. And on one hand, in the short stories, he was a bit like this. But on the other hand, it was a part of the design that we felt was a bit off. Even then, I was not a fan, and I'm not a fan either 20 years later. And to make things worse, we had to cram a lot of stuff into the prologue and yet keep it not too long. So we had one of the things that we had to show to the player, that there's a feature in the game that you can sleep with women and get those sex cards. We had to cram it into the tutorial. So, ladies and gentlemen, here it comes. And to make the situation even more comical, playing animations during dialogues on Aurora Engine was an issue, and we had only one animation for sick people. So, ladies and gentlemen, the healing of Triss Marigold. And yeah, this is one of the extra systems we added to the game, so it felt more like an RPG. It's giving gifts. It's used here to... And where is Triss's... Oh my god, I found a bug, because I have no... I failed to make the...
Must have been the wrong item.
I failed to make the potion because it was too early in the quest. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Let's go back and make the potion. Oh, not a very good design. I'm not proud of myself right now. Okay, so we're going back. Where is the... We're going back. And... so yeah, that was a bit awkward. I'm very sorry. So the gift-giving mechanism is used. Oh yeah, it's always the other side of the fireplace. So, journal, formula, potion for Triss. No, not here. Potion for Triss and mix. Oh, I forgot to mix the potion the last time. Oh, so it was my bad. The game is okay. It was my bad. I just didn't read the tutorial. So it's shame on me, not shame on the game. Okay. So in the end, and maybe this time I managed to finish the sentence, in the end the gift-giving mechanism is used, if I remember correctly here, to heal Triss Marigold, and in a few other quests to make women like me, and so they, slept with me. We were not experienced game designers, when we started working on The Witcher. Most of us never worked on any game before. I was a data analyst in a telecom company, so mistakes were made.
Oh. Thank you, Geralt.
I hope this potion helps.
That was terrible. I dreamt Lambert was with me. He was staring at me, saying things like, "Don't go dying on me, Marigold," calling me big-headed. I'm so glad to see you. What?
I'm glad you're feeling better.
I know we should set out, but I have a feeling we won't be back. Perhaps ever. Won't you stay just a bit longer? With me?
I think that with proper animations the scene could be a less bit awkward. And yeah, I suppose we have some time.
I suppose we have some time.
I'm so happy you're back. When I saw you, all the feelings I tried to deny returned, stronger than ever.
Triss, I'm not ready to talk about the past.
Of course. I shouldn't pressure you. I just feel so... the powers. I'm behaving like a teenager. Let's focus on the present. I guess I disappointed you all. Forgive me.
Nothing to forgive. What I felt when I learned you were alive, hard to compare to anything.
Oh.
Except maybe what I feel as I look at you.
I missed you so. Let's see if the best bed in Kaer Morhen can hold us.
That was fast. Ta-dam.
Geralt, a pleasure, as always.
Cannot look at the cleavage.
Always?
You don't remember anything?
This battle attire is...
Well, you have something to look forward to then.
Not my favorite.
Tell me, how did the battle end?
They broke into the lab, killed Leo, stole our mutagens, and escaped.
Poor Vesemir. Another protege dead prematurely.
We delayed the funeral until you awoke.
Thank you. As for the mutagens, their loss could prove catastrophic. Let's not lose any more time. Unless there's something you'd like to ask me?
Know anything more about the sorcerer who ransacked the lab?
He's very powerful. He completely controlled the energy he drew from the circle. We may soon be facing another Vilgefortz.
Who?
No matter. I have something I'd like to teach you.
Okay, so we got new formula, but that was a case of a dialogue when we had to cram too much things into, you know, the low number of lines that we had at our disposal.
Geralt, can we go?
Can you restore my memory?
I'd have to examine you. There's a good chance your memory will return
the
on its own.
physics.
How much chance?
It's difficult to say. It might help if I knew what caused you to lose your memory.
Oh,
no time for that
one
now.
of the other
Geralt, can we
embarrassing things is that part of the team was very excited because at some point we managed to add like physics simulation to the boobs, and yeah, that was an important part of the production.
The theft. What are its possible consequences?
Most sorcerers and rulers would sell their greedy, power-hungry souls to get the mutagens. Only a master of the arcane arts can use that knowledge. Not many of those left.
What about wealthy merchants, dukes, kings?
Perhaps. Anything's possible, but speculating wastes time. We just don't have enough information.
True.
Geralt, can we go?
I need to do something. I'll come back and get you when I'm ready.
Okay, so we'll be finishing the prologue. Every chapter of the game starts and ends with a longer cutscene, like more cinematic cutscene, to set the mood and to provide some space for the emotional payoff of the events. So when we'll go back to the Vesemir, there will be a cutscene, and then the chapter will end. And I think, yeah, so let's do it.
Geralt, can we go?
We shouldn't keep Vesemir waiting.
Come on then.
We don't know where the bandits came from or who's behind them. We'll draw attention if we venture out as a group. By splitting up, we can also cover more territory.
I'll go west. I know a few people there, and I prefer the coastal
Then
climate.
I'll head east, to Kedwin, unless someone objects.
That's fine. Which way should I go?
South, to Temeria. King Foltest owes you a debt of gratitude. Some time ago, you removed a curse from his daughter. You might happen on the bandits' trail there. And
The curse, removing the curse from the daughter was the cinematic intro. So the Striga was a daughter of King Foltest of Temeria.
I'll gather what information I can and find you in Vizima.
Triss.
Don't, Geralt. I detest goodbyes. I'm liable to cry, and there's nothing more pathetic than a sorceress in tears. Don't get killed, Geralt. I don't think I could deal with that again. I'll see you soon.
See you, Triss.
And that also will be everything for today for us. The Witchers move out in 4 cardinal directions, as it happens in fairy tales, and next time we will meet at the outskirts of Vizima. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.